Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. My name is Gordy, hello, and I was just wondering, how tall was Napoleon? Was he actually short, or was this one of the most enduring PR takedowns in all of history? Like and subscribe right now if you haven't, so you can keep up every single day. I do one of these every single freaking day, and I love it. Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French general and emperor, is probably more well known today for his alleged height than his actual military genius. He's the go-to punchline for short guy energy, but the truth, Napoleon wasn't short. For one, they just used a French ruler on the French ruler. When Napoleon died in 1821, British doctors listed his height as 5 feet 2 inches, but that was in French inches, which are longer than British or American inches. A French inch at the time was about 2.7 centimeters compared to the English inch at 2.54 centimeters. I talk more about how we came up with the inch in my where do shoe sizes come from video, so go check that one out. Maybe I'll link it. I don't know. Maybe I won't. So when you do the math, though, Napoleon was about 5 feet 6.5 inches in modern measurements. And for early 19th century France, that was completely average. In fact, it was almost exactly the national male average at the time. So where did this image of the tiny dictator come from? Part of it comes from British propaganda. During Napoleon's rise and reign, Britain was constantly at war with France. The British media, artists, and political cartoonists went hard on ridiculing him, mocking his ambition, his temper, and especially his height. Caricatures showed him as a miniature tyrant, stomping around Europe, his clothes looking giant on him like he was a kid raiding his dad's closet or his mom's closet. Based off the fashion back then. But the propaganda stuck. The British public loved the idea of a little emperor. It made him seem laughable instead of threatening. You're like, oh, look at that little guy go. He's taking Malta. Oh, and what does he have there? Is that Vienna? Do you have Naples? Are you trying to take Egypt and Prussia too? Oh, look at his tiny arms. And once that image took hold, it became self-reinforcing. After the Battle of Waterloo, the victorious British leaned even harder into that framing. That short, angry man became a cultural trope. But here's the twist. Napoleon's soldiers had actually called him Le Petit Caporal, the little corporal, as a term of affection, not a comment on his size. It was a nickname that honored his camaraderie with the common soldier. He'd fought alongside them directly and earned their respect by lowering himself figuratively, not literally, to their level. Still, the myth snowballed, even when paintings showed Napoleon surrounded by his imperial guards, who were specifically chosen to be tall and imposing. It only made him look shorter by comparison. And over time, perception hardened into fact. So he made a couple mistakes, hired tall guards, and allowed French inches to be bigger than British inches, and there you go. And eventually, the idea of the Napoleon Complex entered pop psychology, the theory that short men overcompensate with aggression or ambition. But even that's on shaky ground. Modern psychological studies, like the one from the University of Central Lancashire, found no evidence that short men are more aggressive. Some even suggest that they're less confrontational. The whole complex might just be another tall tale. So to recap, Napoleon wasn't short. He was perfectly average in height for a Frenchman of his era. The 5'2" measurement was in French units, not English units. The nickname Little Corporal wasn't an insult. And the image of the tiny temperamental man-child emperor, that was mostly a British political meme. One that just refused to die. In a way, it's a reminder that history isn't just written by the victors, it's also drawn by them. And sometimes the cartoons outlast the fact. And if you're like me, you're wondering what Napoleon thought of all this short talk, And so there's no evidence he directly complained about ever being small. He did once say, in war, the moral is to the physical as 3 is to 1. So he suggested that he believed character mattered more than appearance, which also reminds me of that quote from Liar Liar when the kid's like, my teacher says true beauty is on the inside. And Jim Carrey, unable to lie, is like, oh, that's just something ugly people say. But for real, I don't think Napoleon was out there worrying about short jokes. He was too busy redrawing the map of Europe, crowning himself emperor, and casually toppling monarchies. So there you have it. Napoleon wasn't a short king. He was a normal height ruler, uh, dragged down by an international unit conversion and centuries of jokes that just wouldn't quit. Thanks to all my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Go check them out. And go check me out on social media platforms across the board for my 1-minute version at Smartest Year Ever, so you can see that 1-minute clip. Please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who likes this sort of thing. I'd really appreciate that. I work hard on this, and I would love to get more eyes on it. So I really appreciate you being here today. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. I will see you tomorrow in the Smartest Year Ever.